I had depression most of my life and I didn't feel comfortable in my body. So when I got excited about functional nutrition and studied it more and more, I could see that this was the right direction for me to go. So I started playing with that. I did HCG and took the weight out of my diet, and I could feel the difference. I could feel my brain working again. And when I would bring sugar or wheat back in, I could feel the decline in my brain, the fog coming back in. Nothing tastes as good as energy feels. When you get your brain energy back, you don't ever want to eat the crap again. These are my health wins for aging beautifully with holistic low carb method. So I'm going to talk about what I am doing in my lifestyle today, how it is helping me, and how it's going to help you. So if you're not familiar with me, hi, I'm Lori Below. I am a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and holistic weight loss expert with low carb nutrition because I had to live through this. And all the education that I've acquired through my lived experience with functional diagnostic nutrition, with studying functional health and nutrition from an obesity standpoint, as a survivor, so living instead of dying is a very unique position to be in. And my pain to passion story, you should check out that YouTube video that I have. It's my holistic low carb method, and it is my most watched video. If you haven't caught it yet, get back in there and take a look at it, because that is my story. And losing 100 pounds maybe doesn't sound spectacular. Sometimes I don't think it sounds spectacular, but it's all my wins together that make this spectacular. And the method that I have created from my education, from my lived experience, from functional diagnostic nutrition, and using diagnostic labs to help us find our hidden healing opportunities and the weight loss blocks that could be keeping you stuck and maybe sick and not as healthy as you would like to be. And so I'm very uniquely placed here. And I'm finding it a big honor. And I'm so grateful to be here because I am seeing miracles happen. I am seeing my own miracles happening. I don't want to use the word cure specifically because I don't want to get into that. But what can we create for our health? So I'm going to be very real here and very vulnerable. And I want to come into this conversation really loaded with ideas of what you can do to improve your health and what I have done to improve my health and why it is working and why I'm calling these my miracles and my cures, because I'm no longer sick and I'm not going to die early unless I get hit by a bus or crash in an airplane. Who knows? Life will lead us to where we need to go, but it isn't going to happen from a disease in my body per se, because I also focus on health reduction of stress. So correcting stress, having a stressful lifestyle, we all have it. We are living in a toxic environment. We're like zoo animals living in caged environments in a way. We're behind four walls where you've got maybe some windows, but they're not always open, and the air could be cold and rainy like it is outside today. And we are penned into an environment that hinders our health. And so you want to come at this from the perspective of ancestral health. And what is it that we can do to improve our health and longevity and not be sick? Because the human body wasn't designed to be sick. There's a lot of things that the human body can do to heal itself. If you get things out of the way, if you get those hidden dysfunctions out of the way and open up space for your body to work the way it's designed. So at the very end of this call, I'm going to try to remember to do a little case study about a client. And in the meanwhile, I want to talk about my menopause journey, because I started at about 53. I went to Costa Rica, took some pads with me, never had a period, came home. And so that's why I can remember I was about 53, no longer had my period after that. And that was at the same moment, or transitioning into that moment, where I was working on low carb nutrition, studying ancestral health, having done HCG, lost the weight and failed all of that and gained it all back, just like everybody else who does it, because it's not sustainable to just eat 500 calories and do a diet. We really have to look at this from a long-term perspective. Sure, you can lose weight counting calories and exercising, and it's all temporary because your body and your willpower, there's only so much space for that. And then eventually it'll boomerang back and you gain all the weight back, because it was a temporary solution, not a long-term solution. When you look at nutrition from an ancestral point of view and you look at how you can manage everything in menopause as a woman over 50 and actually correct the underlying imbalances. What is the root cause of what's going on in the body, and how do we support that? And so I'm very uniquely in a position of having lived through this process using low carb nutrition with functional diagnostic nutrition and studying ancestral health from an obesity and diabetic standpoint. I was pre-diabetic. I had PCOS in my mid-30s. I had asthma and allergies for a good 20 years, hacking and coughing and congested and going to bed congested even. But those days are behind me. Those are my miracles and my cures that I no longer have. And so I transitioned into a keto diet around 2016 and never looked back. A lot of people have trouble making this into a lifestyle. So I want to come into this conversation as well as looking at this as a longevity lifestyle. And the reason I call this a low carb, the holistic low carb method, is because it is a process that can actually lead to you aging beautifully and having being more active and aging adventurously as well. Because the more you turn off the pain in your body by addressing inflammation, you're able to age beautifully. You feel amazing in your body. You get your confidence back. You get to be more active. You drop the pain, you drop the inflammation. That's how the body heals. When you correct the inflammation in your body by lowering the sugar load on your body, eating a lower insulin diet, like a low carb diet, then you can actually stop inflammation. Now, that leads to be lower carb for some, more low carb for some people than others, depending on how much pre-diabetes you have and how much inflammation and how much dysfunction you have. And then that can kind of lead to where you need to go. And as I work with my clients, those are the things that I try to get to know you right away. Find out what's going on in your body so then I could address what's happening so you get quick results. That's part of the holistic low carb method, because I come into this with the process of helping you lose weight, but get healthy to lose the weight. And so where is your inflammation and how can I help you address this? And working as a team and collaborating, how can we put your body back together again, like Humpty Dumpty, fill in all the cracks and get your body to work the way it's designed. So this is why my menopause journey has been so powerful in helping women over 50 reclaim their health, because you do not have to struggle in menopause. You do not have to struggle alone, because there's so many things that you can choose to do, but you just don't know what you don't know. And that's why where I come in with my lived experience and all my education and understanding, because I've read hundreds of books and I've listened to hundreds of podcasts. I've got a lot of information in my head, and I call it pulling the puzzle out of my head whenever I hear what it is people need. And even with just the last 6 clients that I've worked with all of the lab works and all their individual pieces of their missing pieces of their puzzle, of their health journey, and I'm putting them back together again, helping them do this. Because once we find those hidden healing opportunities, find those weight loss blocks, then we can address them with targeted supplementation and lifestyle management. That's the power. That's where my process, my holistic low carb method, and me, because this is my lived experience you're getting, that's unique to me, unique to my journey, unique to my pain, that's become my passion to help people return to live longer. The studies show that if you eat an anti-inflammatory diet, which is an ancestral health diet and nutrition, you can create 10 to 20 more years of quality living in your body. So if you're 50 and you're worried about your health in your 50s and you want to get to 60s, or if you're in your 60s and you want to get to your 70s, think about where you want to go and what your vision is and what your goals, because you need to stay this course. This is a longevity lifestyle process that I educate you on and help support you creating, like my client Loretta's just did and Randy's just done. They're creating their aging adventurously lifestyle. This is a health adventure experience that you get to invest in so that you can have your best life, so that you can reclaim the second half of your life. So the process that I used for myself was to get on a low carb diet. And I did this by getting into a keto diet off the bat and then just living a low carb lifestyle. I call it a low carb lifestyle because my food rules, and I suggest you make some food rules, it makes it easier, you don't have to use willpower, is that you keep everything low carb. And so go to my website at loribaloo.com. And if you're really curious and interested and want to just invest a tiny bit of money into yourself at this moment to explore this process, my e-recipe book is just $9.99, and it's got that food bridge concept about keeping everything low carb. It has the recipes that I use to lose 100 pounds and to stay the course, because what I have been able to do uniquely is never stray and ever go back. to carbohydrates. I never wanted them again. You have to understand, I had depression my whole life. I was overweight my whole life. And as an introvert, I didn't have a lot of friends. I was uncomfortable in my body. I was not living life that I could feel comfortable with. How I was looking for my weight loss and diabetes solution. And I did not know when it would come, but I had a vision of me feeling and looking beautiful and feeling good in my body. And I kept that in my heart and in my soul. And I kept looking for that opportunity that was going to provide that for me. Now I get to provide that to women quickly with quick wins. And within 3 to 6 months, you're getting quick results and quick wins because a lot of my clients are pretty much settled in at about 5 to 6 months. Now, I've got a couple that I'm going to tell you about my case study at the end of this. So stay tuned with that because she did it. And she did some amazing work in we did the amazing work in 6 weeks, but I'm going to get to that. And so what the holistic low carb method is going to give you is your health back, period. It will work. It works for everybody who does this. And not only that, you get your beautiful back, you get your confidence back, you get your cognition back, and you don't even realize your cognition is going down because I see it in every single one of my clients. Depression, fatigue, memory lapses, not being able to focus, annoyance, irritated, so much. I have a metabolic questionnaire for you to fill out. And a lot of the times, the neuro tissue imbalances that are marked on this questionnaire are huge. So many. And a lot of people have 4s and 5s because it's severe, because you just don't have yourself back. You're fatigued. You have apathy. There's depression. There's like, I can't focus. I'm feeling ADD. You just know there's something wrong. Oh, maybe it's menopause. That's what so many people think. Oh, it's just menopause. I need to get on BHRT, bioidentical hormone therapy. But it's not just menopause. It's inflammation in your body and in your brain. And that is what's causing prediabetes, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and the big C. All of these things happening because of the diet we're eating. And that is the sad American diet. And it is because it's a high carbohydrate, processed food diet that doesn't have enough protein and it doesn't have enough diet. Now, you give that diet to cats and dogs, they die. They die young and they die of disease and they have cancer. Why are we any different? You have to think about it like that. My client was just telling me, she goes, I just gave my dog hamburger and he was so lethargic at 10 years old and he's like a puppy now because she fed him the right food for his body. That just lights my heart up. And we need to do that with our bodies too, because we're no different. We're human beings who have evolved from animals and who have a brain to think outside the box and to think about what we could do to get out of our caged environment, get loose and out of the zoo, put ourselves in nature, touch the ground, get barefoot walking, get bird sound. I mean, I nourish my birds outside because they make me feel good, because when the birds are singing, that puts me into a state of rest and digest. So it's more than just nutrition. It's whole lifestyle factors. That's why functional diagnostic nutrition is so powerful, because we can get in there and work on your nutrition, work on your sleep and let you understand it more, and then work on exercise and movement, and also stress management, which is huge. And then that ties into all the hormones and it ties into all of the testing and not guessing, because if your gut health isn't correct and your hormones are all off and your digestion isn't functioning, say goodbye to longevity, because it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So those are the things that I address, because I understand how it works. I work with clients who get results, and I got results for myself. And so it's my certainty and my conviction, my lived experience, and the fact that I've lost up to 100 pounds, doing the majority of that, finalizing that in menopause, because I did start my low carb lifestyle at about 185 pounds. I was originally 225 pounds, so I'm keeping the weight off. I was struggling to keep the weight under 225 pounds. And so that was the whole struggle throughout my 30s and 40s, was to get that weight down and keep it off. And it never was successful. And I lived in a very anxious and depressed state, and I wasn't happy and I didn't feel good in my body. I always had the asthma. I always had the allergies. And my asthma was never going to go away with a sad American diet. And my allergist said, that's just the way it's going to be. You'll always be on an inhaler. Well, I proved that system wrong. He was correct when he's talking to the standard American, but I'm no longer the standard American. I'm part of the 6% of people that are healthy. 88% of the people are unhealthy. So maybe I didn't get those numbers right, but part of like there could be, I've heard the term that 6% of people are healthy and there's 80 to 90% of people who are unhealthy. And they're unhealthy because your insulin levels are too high, your pancreas is working too hard and becoming pancreatic insufficiency and fatty pancreas. Your liver is working overtime and can't keep up with the fat storage mode that it needs to go into to store your fat for you. So every time you eat carbohydrates and have sugar in your blood system, because food breaks down to glucose, every single carbohydrate will break down to glucose in your body. And then your liver has to act, your pancreas turns on, insulin comes out, your insulin and everything goes through the liver. Your liver creates body fat, and then it creates that triglyceride to store all that for you. It's a really efficient system. But then it gets worn out and it gets bruised and it stops functioning, and you get insulin resistance, you get pre-diabetes, and then you end up with diabetes. That's the process. So we just stop it. That's the miracle. That's the thing that you could focus on and correct with a keto, or call it a low carb diet, because a keto diet is more strictly low carb, and low carb may have a little bit of play, and keto could be stricter and low carb could be less strict. So that would be more of the term. So I play between the two, and I even can be carnivore on some days. So I'm probably 80% carnivore, but I live low carb lifestyle, and I meet my clients where they're at, and I take you where you need to go, because you don't know. You've got cognitive dysfunction, you've got fatigue, depression, pain, and irritation and annoyance in your body when you first start working with me, and you just need hope. And so I'm giving you that hope when you come onto a call with me and let me know what's going on in your body. And then I can start seeing what's happening inside you and start to analyze what we could do and how I could support you and how my holistic low carb method will help you. Because what we're going to do, if you go to my website at loriblue.com, you could take a look at my framework. And what I'm going to do is a health intake, and I'm going to give you a metabolic analysis and find out what's going on in your body. And then you're going to get that analysis with the labs, 6 labs, 3 to 6 labs. When you do a 6-month signature program with me, you get much more support, and we're able to do more long term. But that's what gives me the information to help you find your hidden healing opportunities, to help you find where your weight loss blocks are. And I also can talk, listen to what you're saying and use my intuitive lived experience to guide you into the process of what to do before the labs even come in. So that's another thing I'm very unique at. I don't wait for you to get your labs done and for that lab work to come in to support you. I support you from the very first moment we work together, and I give you a call the very same week and we start talking. And then when you talk and I listen, I understand what it is that I'm going to need to do. If I need to do research, I'm doing the research. If I need more information, I'm going to ask you questions. But you're going to tell me how you're feeling, and I'm going to find out what's going on in your body, and then I'm going to help guide you. That's what I do. It's so powerful. And then when we get more information, then we get to the next healing level, into the next area. And you know what's happening during all this time? Because I start from the very beginning. I'm helping you dial in your aging beautifully and adventurously lifestyle for longevity, so that you could stay the course, not fall off this process, but continue to live this as a health adventure experience. That's why you want a bulletproof mindset coming from me that's going into you with that radical accountability, so you can bust the cravings, bust the hunger, stop that inflammation, and get your body on track. That's what we do. And that's what I had built up. That's how come I am successful, because I created that bulletproof mindset, which is what I share with my clients, because there's no failure unless you quit. And so I am here to guide you into the life and body that you want to have as best I can with what we're got working with us. And so when you follow the holistic low carb method, then you get the results. And we don't always know what the results are going to be, but you're going to get results, and you're going to get your vision and your goal closer to being attained by getting started. So what we're going to do, and what I did for myself is, and I'm never going to let you quit unless you quit on yourself, but if you show up, I will show up for you. So there's no quitting. I don't let you quit, because I want you to be successful. And so my bulletproof mindset is going to be yours as well. But what we're going to do is get your diet dialed in. And I don't put you on any specific diet. I just guide you into the process that works. And I have a diet module that you can listen to and go over that's going to get you jump started. And I also have a beginning manual, holistic low carb guide that you get to listen to. And every person who signs up also gets the Aging Beautiful recipes and that I have in my ebook. Those are all things that are happening. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to flip your sugar switch off. What that is your metabolic switch going off. And when you switch that off, those are your miracles happening. When you keep it off, the miracles happen because you lower your insulin response in the body. Now your pancreas can heal. Now your liver can heal. Now we can support your digestion, and your digestion can start functioning again, and you can actually digest your protein and your fat, because that's not happening in that 88% of people who are unhealthy. You're not getting your digestion dialed in. I'm seeing it in all my clients. That is huge. What we want to do is keep that sugar switch flipped off. And when you flip that off, you get to then change how your body works. It's like taking your car into the mechanic, fix it up, get it to work, and it comes out working again. Flip that sugar switch off. You flip your disease-causing genes off. I no longer have asthma. I no longer have allergies that react. If they do, they're very little. And as long as I keep dairy out of my diet, I have no congestion ever. I don't even go to bed with congestion anymore. It's pretty rare. Now, if I have a lot of dairy, which I'm red sensitive to, I could end up with some congestion, but it's temporary. So what are your food sensitivities? That's part of the process. I'm going to help you discover your food sensitivities, help you eliminate the ones that you're reacting to in the antigen levels. You have an immune response in your gut, and your immune system is going to react at the antigen level. And so we take those out and let your body get into a better healing state where you heal and seal the gut, and you get those out of immune memory, and then you can transition to trying to get them back, but not the wheat. Because if you eat wheat, you will always have a disease risk and an autoimmunity risk, because that flips your sugar switch back on. And so my goal for you is to keep that sugar switch flipped off so that you don't have to deal with disease as you're getting older. And so this was and is my weight loss and diabetes solution. So I no longer am pre-diabetic, and I kicked that to the curb and eliminated my advancement into diabetes, which my sister died from, my eldest sister, and my dad died from. My brother was diabetic and was told that he needed to go on insulin, and he decided to do diet. So check out his case study that's pinned to my Instagram account. He reversed it. He no longer has diabetes because he eats an ancestral-based diet that is a keto low-carb diet. When you do these things, we don't have to suffer with asthma, which is an inflammatory response in the body from too much sugar in your body, coming from too many carbohydrates. And so when you keep that disease switch turned off, you have a weight loss and a diabetes solution all tied into one. Because when you get healthy to lose the weight by correcting your blood sugar dysregulation, then you stop the disease process. The 9 out of 10 of these diseases are lifestyle related. They're lifestyle diseases, and they're largely preventable if you do and follow the process of flipping your sugar switch off. And that's low carb lifestyle. You know what? A client told me when she got her brain back, turned back on, and corrected her cognition, no longer going downhill, but back to herself, nothing tastes as good as energy feels. When you get your brain energy back, you don't ever want to eat the crap again. That's why I'm successful at doing what I'm doing, because I had depression most of my life, and I wasn't living life, and I didn't feel comfortable in my body. So when I got excited about functional nutrition and studied it more and more, I could see that this was the right direction for me to go. So I started playing with that. I did HCG and took wheat out of my diet, and I could feel the difference. I could feel my brain working again. And when I would bring sugar or wheat back in, I could feel the decline in my brain, the fog coming back in, like rolling down the street and coming right back at me. So by the time I actually because I got to the point where I was only eating maybe some fruit and a little bit of honey, but I couldn't tolerate the honey, and I couldn't lose weight on fruit. And so even though I was living a low-carb lifestyle, I didn't lose any weight. When I was just doing low-carb, leaving in some fruit, and nibbling too much and not enough protein and fat. It wasn't until I went full into keto, took out all the fruit in 2016, and brought in the fat and the protein, my brain turned back on. I dropped 20 pounds in the first month or two, and I never looked back. I dived straight into this lifestyle because it was my hope. And that was what one of my clients was telling me. She goes, oh my God, I see the hope. I feel hopeful. When you got those windows and doors open and you can step through them and see your hope in the future, you don't have to live with disease. You don't have to worry in bed that you're going to not survive the next day or the next decade or the next 6 months. We don't even know what's in store for us if we go to bed at night and not know if our heart's going to function. What are our hormones doing, and why do we have so many hot flashes? How do we turn the hot flashes off in menopause? And how do we get our hormones balanced? And then also, how do we turn off the inflammation? How do we support our gut? How do we manage all of that? Well, that's my job. I'm your lifestyle manager with the holistic low carb method. That's my job as a practitioner, helping you redesign your body to age beautifully and adventurously. This is health by design. And this is why I'm uniquely different and why my program for women over 50 and menopause is very unique and a very powerful process. You're going to turn off the inflammation in your body, flip that sugar switch off to stay healthy and to reverse your risk for diseases. And if you already have them, put your body back together and into homeostasis as best you can, and just do a deeper dive in how your body can get healthy. And that's why I do use targeted supplementation. It is completely necessary. And these are supplements that are practitioner grade that I'm going to get your body to absorb these nutrition by supporting your stomach acid and your digestion. Because if you don't support digestion, you're not digesting your nutrients. Your food is going to waste. And that's a huge problem I'm seeing. Just alone, neurological health. If you cannot get protein into your brain to create neurotransmitters, it's no wonder people are living on antidepressants. I never have had antidepressants because my mom modeled for me that we read books and we find knowledge in books and we can apply that to our lifestyles. And so I just naturally started doing that. And if I didn't feel good, I was addicted to sugar and to wheat. I ate all of those things and I could not get off of them until I was in my 50s. And so in my early 50s, I finally ditched it all. I read the Wheat Belly book by William Davis and never went back to the bread baskets at the restaurant because I think I was down to that. But once you find out what wheat does to your body, you won't want to eat it. It's a toxin and it damages everybody's immune system and gut. And it causes leaky gut in everybody per Dr. Tom O'Brien. And if you haven't followed him or listened to him, get out there and study him as well. Because this is where we empower you to research this and take care of yourself at home. And the process is to lower the inflammation in your body by eating low-carb nutrition. But there's people say, well, how long do I have to do this? Or how long do I need to take supplements? Well, how long do you want to feel good? How long do you want to live? Do you want that 10 to 20 more years of quality living? Well, I do. And so the more knowledge I have, the more I see around me, like, why would I want to live like that? I don't, and I'm never going to. I have energy. I can get out and walk 24 miles across the Grand Canyon. I could go out on 5, 6, 7, 10-mile, 12-mile hikes just with meetup groups because it's great. It's training. And I want to create a t-shirt called Aging Beautifully. And it's hiking mountains and training for life. Because on one of my hikes, somebody was coming down this ridge line because they didn't go all the way up. And they're like, oh, what are you guys training for? And we're like, life, because we can. But you don't know you can because part of the problem is there's no brain energy. You have to turn on brain energy. And the way to do that is to put ketones in your brain. But as long as you have glucose coming in constantly, you're not able to get ketones into your brain because your body is burning sugar instead of fat. And so that's where you target and train your body to eat more fat. And today I'm kind of on an experiment and I don't know yet how it's going to look. I'm just curious, but I'm pretty much eating all fat today. I am doing something a little bit different. I'm eating keto bricks. I make my own, and there's a recipe in my recipe book, but I also am using the keto bricks by Keto Savage. So I bought those recently, and I just wanted to eat that today. And so I'm trying it out because I had tennis this morning. I had bulletproof coffee. I transitioned into the keto bricks. And then, I'm like, I'm just going to do this for the rest of my day. And that's what you want to think about is what can you get excited about? What can you be curious about? And how can you create a lifestyle, a health adventure lifestyle, health as a hobby by choosing health and no matter what, being determined to beat the system and live longer. That's when you get to age beautifully and adventurously. That was what Loretta was saying. She was so excited to create a health adventure lifestyle. And she's aging adventurously and loving it. Back to playing basketball, living life and having herself as an athlete feel amazing. That just lights my heart up. See her testimony on my website at Lori Ballou in the testimonies page. I'm so honored to have been her guide in getting this done and collaborating with her. And this is what really lights me up, guys. I want you to know that we can actually take low-carb nutrition. Most of the people that I'm talking to on calls and clients that come in have tried keto low-carb for years and it never succeeded. Why? Well, I know the secrets to that. So get on a call with me and let's figure that out. And as soon as you sign up, those secrets will just be yours, because what I do is I talk with you, figure out what it is you need to do, and give you some quick wins. And then it starts to work. At this point, what you believe and your determination is what's going to guide you to living longer and being healthier. Using low carb nutrition is something that you can create a lifestyle around, and you can create the carb code that you need to have. I'm not going to tell you that you need to have my lifestyle, because this is mine, but I want to inspire and motivate you to create your own aging beautifully lifestyle, because you can, but it has to be yours. Some people want a little bit more carbs. Some people need less. Some people feel they need more. You find yours. Mine comes and goes. Like I said, I could be carnivore 80% of the time, but I still like fermented vegetables. I still like to have arugula. And if I have arugula, I'm going to put some sunflower seeds or pine nuts on that, because that makes me happy, with some olive oil and some Parmesan. I look at food as information to my body, and I'm not going to eat something that's going to cause me to be sick or that's going to cause me to be poisoned. I don't want to eat a toxic food that's going to hurt me. And so if I eat a food that doesn't make my body feel good, then I don't ever go back to it. Like the time that I had 8 ounces of sheep yogurt at the Grand Canyon, and I had some keto granola. Now, there was 3 food sensitivities I had there. Some butter, which was dairy, some blueberries, so maybe it was only 2. And then it was the yogurt, which is dairy. So even though it was sheep dairy, I'm red sensitive to dairy. But I ate that thinking, oh, I'm just going to have extra calories for my hike tomorrow, was what I was thinking. It's low carb. It's perfectly fine food, right? But is that food right for you? Well, that food was not right for me. And this is what happened. I woke up in the middle of the night coughing up the most phlegm I have ever had in years. I was coughing up so much phlegm. It was just astounding how much phlegm come out of my body that night. It's kind of gross, but there you go. I never touched that yogurt again, because it was poison to my body. And so that's how we look at food as information to your body. I just had a client drop 5 pounds when she took out dairy as a carnivore. Now, how many carnivores are out there doing dairy? Almost all of them. But this was very inflammatory for her. She took it out and dropped 5 pounds. Now, her goal is and was to reverse depression, stop the pain, stop the fatigue, get her life back on track. 6 weeks later, she's doing it. No more depression, fatigue mostly under control, no more chronic headache pains in the afternoon, completely gone. And that was 6 weeks into her program. Now we have figured out what her hidden healing opportunities are. All of her lab work is in. Now we can narrow in on exactly what it is she needs to get her life back, so she can have quality living, to be more active in travel, to have her brain intact and functioning without headaches, without debilitating pain and inflammation. Total in 6 weeks, actually it was in 4 weeks, 10 pounds down. And it's really interesting. She was only 130 pounds. And so now this is going to fluctuate as she starts to hydrate and get her minerals in her body, and her body getting to a point where she could actually take that protein in her body and create muscle. And so it's not about being skinny. It's about being strong and building muscle, using low carb nutrition to help you to get there, so that you can actually turn off the disease causing process in your body. Turn it off, because it's there. It's on. If you're eating the standard American diet, it is turned on. You want to flip that sugar switch off, flip that disease-causing gene switch off, and start aging beautifully and adventurously with longevity lifestyle. You take away the interferences that cause your body to get sick. When you support your pancreas, when you support your liver, when you support digestion, when you support detoxification, when you get your gut straightened out, and then you can get your hormones straightened out, ladies, and get yourself on some progesterone and estradiol. But do not do estradiol if you don't know what your detoxification process is. Because what if you're blocked up? Those things need to be discovered to appropriately get your body working and aging beautifully the way you want it to be hormonally balanced, and to be not living and struggling with menopause, but actually having a very easy lifestyle. I don't have a lot of symptoms of menopause that I know of. Let me see. I have every now and then I will have a few hot flashes at night, maybe 1 or 2 if my blankets are too heavy. My blankets are not as heavy. I don't have as many hot flashes, but if it's cold outside and I might have my blankets on, well, then I might have more hot flash because of that. So definitely warmer in menopause. You don't need as many blankets, so don't use as many. But there's things we can do for all of that. Basically, we just actually dial in exactly what our body needs to have for supplementation. What does our body need to do for stress reduction, because that needs to happen? And how can we use lifestyle to age more adventurously, and to actually get outside and choose to have movement. Movement and exercise doesn't happen. You can't force yourself to do it if your brain energy isn't working the way you want it to. If you don't have the energy to your muscles, to your brain that's lit up with mitochondria functioning for energy, that busts the fatigue. That's when you lose all your cravings and your hunger. And you can get then those 20,000 steps a day that I can get on average with just 1 or 2 walks a day, because I fidget all day long, because I have energy in my body, because my body is functioning and my brain is functioning, and yours can too. And so if you want 10 to 20 pounds of weight loss within the next 3 to 6 months, it's yours. Are you determined to get that? Are you in action and ready to do that? Because I'm here ready to take the next 3 ladies who are ready to book a call. Once they've heard this, book a call and let's get to know each other and see if we're fit to work together. Because this is an investment in you, and I am here to help empower you, to educate you, and to inspire and motivate you to stay the course and create your aging beautiful lifestyle. If you want to live a healthy lifestyle, if you want a health adventure lifestyle, choosing health as a hobby, you have to be determined to do this, because people around you are not going to be doing it. I'm dating right now in my 60s, and this is not the easiest thing to do with my lifestyle. Although most men do want to lose weight and be healthy, but are they going to stick with me throughout that? I don't know. But women, we got to stick together and empower each other. If you're determined to live life, to gain 10 to 20 more years of quality living and be active for your grandchildren. How about great grandchildren? Do you want to dance in your hundreds? I do. And I want to take you there. And we can do this. But we have to turn the insulin switch off. We have to flip that sugar switch off. And I'm going to help you stay the course. That's why you get my lived experience. That's powerful. My certainty and conviction. You want to get rid of those cravings and that hunger. Get rid of the fatigue and the depression, like my clients are doing. Turn your brain back on. Stop the pain. I don't have any pain in my body. We don't have to. It's a sign of inflammation in your body. Let's stop it. I'm here for you. So if you're ready and you're determined and you want to get that summer body ready, slender over 50, the holistic path to healthy aging, I've got my next webinar is going to be April 2nd. I just put it into my Instagram links. If you state under this video that you would like the link to sign up, let me know and I'll send you the link. And please leave a question, like and follow this, and share it with whoever you think this could be helpful. And let's just get your life back on track. This is healthy aging over 50 for women in menopause. And the way that I got that was because I never strayed. I stayed the course, because brain energy is so much more powerful and it feels so much better than food will ever taste. I eat amazing food. I love the food I eat. I do not feel restricted. You just have to learn what to eat and retrain your taste buds, retrain the bacteria in your body, and kill off the bad bacteria and create new, good, healthy, skinny bacteria. That's the process. That's why testing and not guessing is going to be your best friend, and I can be your partner and practitioner. So just let me know. Let's get on a call, and I'll talk to you soon.